Hey everybody, NWA Prepper here. Want to talk a little bit about today about your first aid kit. Whether you have one or you don't have one, do you know what to do with it? I guess really that's what I want to talk about, is what to do with your first aid kits. There are all kinds of first aid kits that you can get on the market. Everything from the small $5 kits at Dollar General. I guess there's little dollar ones at Dollar Tree. $5 and $10 and $20 kits like crazy. They're everywhere. And they serve a purpose. But those kits' purpose is not to be your primary first aid kit. It is certainly not intended to be your first aid kit for a big emergency, a big disaster. Those are great for your day pack. They're great for your well, I don't even like them for your EDC bag. They're great in your 10-year-old's bag. They're good to have around. And they're good until you get some knowledge and training. Or training and skills. Training is very important. And a lot of people talk about firearms training, which is very important. And I personally don't think you should carry a firearm without some kind of a training. But I also think that first aid and your first aid skills need equal or more attention. Because in our lives, there's a possibility that I'm going to need to use my firearm to defend myself. Likely where I live, that you're going to use your firearm to feed yourself. But it's 100% guaranteed that you're going to injure yourself. Whether it's a splinter or a small cut, not feeling well, something is going to need you to get the first aid kit. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that most people don't even know the proper way to put on an adhesive bandage or a Band-Aid. Band-Aid is a brand name, but the adhesive strips with a gauze pad on it. So I'm going to say that a lot of people don't even know how to put those on properly. So when you get a first aid kit, then they're great. And you got to have them, but you need to go to classes. And whether that class is for a certificate of completion or a piece of paper saying, or a card saying you've been certified in first aid, basic American Heart Association first aid, or American Red Cross professional rescuer first aid, which is my preferred one of those. That card doesn't matter. So if you go to someone who has skills and is willing to share them with you, and they teach you, and you don't get a certificate, but you get some knowledge, that's great. And there are some things that I use to gauge, knowledge or things. And I'm here to tell you, and this will upset a few of you, maybe piss you off, I don't care. Tampons don't belong in your first aid kit. Yes, they're made to do that. They plug a hole, they absorb blood, blah, 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 blah. They're inexpensive, they're everywhere. That's great, that's awesome. I'm not going to put them in my kit. I'm not going to suggest you put them in yours, because I can get the proper tool to deal with that same wound, I can get the proper tool for $2. If I buy it on sale, I can get it even cheaper than that. A wound packing. Something that you put in the wound and you keep shoving it in there and squish, 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 squish until it's all in there. You take what's left over, you put on top, and you secure it with a bandage or tape. A bandage is better. So I don't have any of those in my kit. I'm not saying there wasn't a time in my life that I thought they were the greatest thing since sliced bread. Since then, I have gained years of experience, both in emergency out in the field, in surgeries at a hospital, and they're just not the best thing. So go to someone who's going to teach you proper skills, proper knowledge, and there are a lot of things that you can improvise in the field, but to improvise something is your last resort. Tourniquets, for example. A tourniquet used to be, oh my gosh, it's the last thing we do. Well, it's not anymore. We use them actually pretty quickly. Sometimes we use 2 of them even. Improvised tourniquets, however, it is very difficult to get an improvised tourniquet to function as effectively and as quickly as a manufactured tourniquet. And your belt just can't do it very easily. Improvised tourniquets are difficult. They're better than nothing, absolutely. I still teach people to do improvised tourniquets a little bit because it's a skill I want you to have. But for speed and use today, use a manufactured tourniquet. I'm a North American Rescue cat tourniquet guy. The speed and ease that I can use them and the versatility, to me, beats anything else out there. There's things that I haven't seen, so I'm not tearing on tourniquets. That's just the one for me. Your first aid kit needs to start small. Start with that $20 kit. Be comfortable with everything in there. Know what it does. Know how to use it to the point that that little first aid pamphlet is no longer necessary. And when you have that done, then you can go to a higher level training class, such as the American Red Cross's professional rescuer first aid, which is kind of like first responder, or a first responder class through your community college or ambulance department or fire department, whoever offers it. And then after that first responder class, there are other levels you can do, such as wilderness first responder, wilderness EMT itself, or just wilderness first aid. I mean, there's all kinds of levels and tiers that you can do. And you can... I'm really stupid, and I've been an EMT for a long time. Different levels of EMTs, because you have EMT basic, EMT advanced, EMT intermediate, some places, EMT paramedic, EMTs. And you can go to whatever level of that you want to go to with it. But anybody can be a first responder trained, or anyone can be an EMT. It takes a little bit of effort, and that's it. And you'll learn some good basic trauma skills. You can do it. And then as you gain skills, then you can add new things to your first aid kit. When you have a skill down, like for instance, when you learn how to use a Band-Aid right, well, then you need to have plenty of Band-Aids. There's no need to buy an occlusive chest dressing, or no need to find the materials to make an improvised chest dressing if you don't know how to use it. Get your skills down, buy the materials you know how to use, and then once you have a good supply of the materials you know how to use, go ahead and get some of those advanced things to have around in the event somebody knows how to use them. But don't let that green fold-up surgical kit be the first thing you buy, when you don't know how to make a pressure dressing. Get the materials that you need for your first aid kit based on your knowledge, and then increase your knowledge, and then increase your first aid kit to go with it, until you have a wonderful trauma kit, a wonderful first aid kit that you can deal with a lot of things because you know how to do it. You can do it. Start slow, one thing at a time. Remember, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Thanks for watching. The channel's doing great because of you guys. I can't say how much I appreciate it. So I'm just going to say, let's get ready.